all devices are instruments. In this series, the hypothesis that we are running down, that we're chasing down, is that we can play every part of our signal chain as an instrument. We want to treat our pedals, our spring reverbs, everything has the potential to become more expressive if we approach it in a more expressive way. What I mean is, do you change your playing in order to manipulate the sound? Do you change the controls on your pedals? Start thinking about things as a more organic, more animated, more vibrant palette of sounds to work with, rather than just effects that you turn on and off. What I'd like to explore in this video is twisting knobs on your pedals in real time in order to create different effects. To start with, I have this lovely Paul Trombetta Tornita, a pretty interesting fuzz, a really beautiful sounding fuzz that has a feedback loop built into it, much like the Fuzz Factory, if you're familiar with that fantastic granddaddy of freaked out modern fuzzes. This has a feedback loop, and it's controllable from this rather large knob right here. That knob is well placed because I can reach down here with my toe and tweak it in real time. I can't tell you exactly what's happening with this knob. I think it controls the amount of signal that's being fed back in on itself, but it creates really interesting effects, and I like to mess with it in real time. And this will sort of touch on something that was in the first video, which is tweaking your volume knob to control the behavior of your fuzz pedals in real time. So there can become some really interesting and complex interactions between messing around with my volume knob and with the knobs and the pedal in real time. So I don't know. I'm going to play a little bit and let's see what we can discover here. Well, that's a deliciously good time. Yeah, there's a ton of really interesting effects to be found just from playing with things in real time. And maybe this doesn't have a ton of application in music where you need to basically nail the same tone every time you play that song. But if you're an improviser or your music has spaces for improvisation, this is a really fun thing to pursue. You'll open up all kinds of new ideas, and if you're just even experimenting in the studio, you can capture really interesting, freaked out, almost synth type tones from doing this sort of stuff. And if you're not worried about recreating it later, it can become the foundation for really interesting tracks. So I love it. It really changes the relationship of your playing to the sound as it sort of becomes a battle to control what you're doing with the guitar and how it changes with this, I don't know, this very strange series of effects that happens as you're tweaking the pedal in real time. I find it to be really inspiring and really expressive. Similarly, I do a lot of work with looper pedals and reverb pedals or delay pedals, and it's fun to be able to tweak those things in real time as well. I'll show you a few things that I do with that. Over here on the other side of my pedal world, I have my Hexe Revolver loop pedal right here, and I have this Nuenaber slate, which is kind of a pedal that can host any number of algorithms for reverb or delay or chorus. I'm running their wet reverb, which is a beautiful sort of modulated long tail reverb. This little guy right here is their expansion pedal that attaches to the slate, and I'm controlling it with this expression pedal. You'll see that the light right here changes as I change the state. So when the pedal's all the way down, we have just sort of a short, slightly bright reverb. Not super short, but and as we turn the pedal up, the reverb increases in volume, and also the reverb time goes all the way up to infinite. So I sort of liken this to having a sustain pedal like piano players have, but on the guitar, allowing me to sustain more than 6 notes at a time. So I use this a lot in my playing if I just want to grab a few notes. It's really cool. It allows me to create sort of ambient effects on the fly and adds a dimension of expression to my playing where I can make certain notes sustain forever. That's really fun to do in real time. I use that a lot in conjunction with my looper pedal in order to sort of create transitions in music. So I might capture I don't know, a little squiggle of some kind here. I'm going to play something. It's kind of a way to escape from a motif that I've created, but using those two things in conjunction allows me to create a lot of really interesting effects. Similarly, if I have the reverb set on infinite and fairly loud compared to the dry signal, it sort of washes out what's going into it and creates an ambient effect. I'll even turn up the ratio of the reverb a little bit more and hear what happens when I fade this loop into it. I'm essentially using the reverb to process the looper, and by changing the speed of the playback of the loop, I can feed different frequency ranges, different pitches into the reverb, all just from tweaking the knobs in real time. So if you start to view your entire pedal board this way as a series of things, a series of devices that can all be tweaked, that have a sort of cascading effect down the line of your signal chain, it becomes really expressive. It stops being this sort of fixed sound. When I turn this on, this is what it sounds like. More distortion, less distortion, more reverb, less reverb, and becomes a really sort of living, breathing, expressive instrument unto itself. Really an opportunity to create more really interesting musical moments. So grab your pedals, grab your pedal board, and experiment with tweaking things in real time. Take off your shoes and reach down there and mess with knobs with your toe, or plug in an expression pedal. I like these really small AMT expression pedals because they don't take up a lot of space. But use it as an opportunity to mess around and see if you can't create more interesting musical moments. As always, I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments, you can comment below or send me questions and feedback to hello@danphelps.com. Please check out my website. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can find me on Instagram at danpmusic. So yes, dig in and enjoy, and I'll see you soon.